What is up, YouTube? Thank you for checking out my new channel. Got to send a big shout out to my favorite channels that I watch so regularly that gave me the big head to think I could tackle something like repairing a wrecked vehicle, like Goonzquad, VTuned, B is for Build, Samcrac. There's probably a good dozen of them that I watch daily, hourly, the minute they're dropping videos. This is my 1993 Nissan Hardbody. This thing has 101,000 miles on it. I picked it up for $500. I'm just showing this beautiful angle back here first because it does not look very damaged at all from back here, and the body is remarkably straight other than the front end. Again, 100,000 miles. It was not running and driving. Don't know if I said that or not. It was actually a very, very easy fix mechanically. The ignition coil on this thing mounts right here is where the inner fender was. That's where the ignition coil goes, and the accident, I assume, is what knocked that wire loose. And once I removed the radiator, well, the radiator was pressed up against the fan pretty hard, so it wouldn't have ran either way. But once I removed the front end and plugged that coil back in, it fired right up. And I mean, first turn, it fired right up. Had a little bit of timing chain rattle is what it sounded like on startup, and I looked it up, and that's pretty common on KAs, so I'll take care of that once the body's all squared away. But as you can see, I have the inner fender removed at the spot welds. I kept this piece here, you can see my hand, to use as my line. I almost removed it at that piece, but I went ahead and left that, and here's my new inner fender right here, sitting on top of the thoroughly crushed one here. There's the damaged one. It was not repairable. Well, I assume it's not repairable. Maybe a good body guy could spend a few hours and get it close, but obviously you'd never get all that wrinkle in and all that distorted metal out of it. It would just, I mean, it cost me $125 for the quarter section of a cab, or I don't say a quarter, maybe about an eighth section of a cab that contained that inner fender, and then I just removed it at the spot welds exactly where I removed the one off the truck. So it will. I'm at the stage now where I'm ready to line everything up. Unfortunately, I ordered a massive order of parts. Well, massive. I spent about $700 on parts, and the hood that showed up was severely damaged. It's in the box back there behind the truck, behind the old hood. But yeah, that got damaged during shipping. So the new replacement should be here in a couple days, and then that's where I'm going to pick up. Is go ahead and mock it up before. I don't want to tack anything together before, based on a bent hood. So I want to get all my straight parts in my hands, and then we are going to go from there and try to get this thing back together. Okay, actually meant next segment, not the next video, but yeah, you see the right top corner of my new replacement hood. I mean, goodness, I think it's just thrashed. And if you see this little corner of it just folded over, so yeah, they obviously dropped that box right on the corner. But I did get my valance, that lower valance with the new end pieces that came in, not bent at all. That looks good. So I'm going to go ahead and use that hood back there. I have 3 hoods now, including the one that came on the truck, the very damaged one that I actually did straighten out to the best of my ability. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and use the first one that showed up because I already straightened it out pretty good, and definitely looks a lot better than this one. I'm going to let it's Discount Body Parts is where I get the stuff, where I got these parts, and I'll let them know and see what they say. Maybe they'll send me a third one. Alrighty, it is a beautiful Sunday morning. I'm about to get to work putting this oil pan back on with a fresh gasket. And you can see, remember when I said I've got it running and the first thing I heard was some rattle on startup, which sounded like timing chain. That was definitely the case, because there's the timing chain tensioner in several pieces. I went ahead and did the front main seal yesterday. It was pretty shot. You could see the amount of buildup around that area, so I just, with the front end off, it'd kind of be silly to not do it. So that's done. Oil pan is going on right now. Yesterday, I also took care of this. Obviously, it's not a perfect match. I used Rust-Oleum primer and Rust-Oleum white primer and Rust-Oleum white standard rattle can paint. Didn't even get my paint gun out, because I did get the PPG color match paint for the outside of the hood and the fender and the valance that needs to be painted, but I figured the underside of the hood that'd be a waste of money. So that's done. I'm gonna get this camera on a stand tripod and get to work putting that oil pan back on. Alrighty, so it took about an hour and a half, but finished up the oil pan gasket. I just need to wait an hour or so for that to set so I can torque those down. But front seal's done, oil pan gasket's done, and now it's time to throw the front end on this truck, or at least try to. So yeah, I am very happy with how this thing is looking. It is way better than I ever thought I could get, honestly. And it's basically ready for base coat. I think it's too cold to go ahead and do it today. I pulled it out. I'm going to go ahead and wet sand it right now with some 600. And I've kind of talked myself out of painting it because of the breeze that I can feel. I just don't want to ruin it or rush it. There's no need to. And you can see how it looks like it's a perfect match, but you look at the sides, like, okay, yeah, primer's not exact same color, but I guess in the meantime, I'm gonna go ahead and introduce my two youngins. My wife is out of town, or else I would introduce her. She is the genius behind any editing that you see, because I have zero editing skills. So any type, if it was my video alone, it would be one long, continuous 80-minute string of video that would have zero editing. So anything fancy that you see, she did, and she's wonderful. This is my kiddo, Kevin. He's playing some Fortnite. My daughter. There she is. That's Miss Olivia and Mr. Rhodey. Rhodey showed up a few weeks ago, just walking down the sidewalk.
Daddy, why are you starting all over again?
He likes hanging out in the garage. Say hi, Olivia.
Hi.
So yeah. Next intro will be my wonderful wife, as I said. Unfortunately, you don't get to meet her, but she's here in spirit, because any of this fancy editing that you're about to see, she did it. I just wanted to share one more thing before I start wet sanding this truck, and that is this incredible interior. I mean, this thing is, I've never seen a 25-plus-year-old truck with, that's what makes me believe the 101,000 miles is original or accurate. I've never seen it work, because I towed it home when I bought it, but we'll see if the speedometer actually works. But and this also. not only do I not hear the timing chain rattle anymore, but it's just, you know, for it being cold outside, the way it fires up like that, I can't let it warm up at all because there's no radiator on it right now, no water in it. But I did a fresh oil change with full synthetic, new filter, and maybe the rattle was partly from low oil, low oil pressure. I honestly don't know, but it sounded really rattly when I first started it up, the very first time I heard this truck run. But now, after that fresh oil change, I'm kind of amazed how quiet it is, but it just runs so good. I'm not going to let it warm up at all because, again, there's no water in it. Alright, it is the day after the wet sand in the front end. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this video, and the next video will be the final video, which will be laying the base coat and the clear coat, polishing out the whole thing, detailing it inside and out, any little other paint corrections I'm going to do to it, and then obviously showing those final results. I've got the valve cover off right now. I'm going to lay some probably wrinkle black on that. I haven't decided black or red. I'll throw a still shot of how that turns out. And then if you made it this far in the video, I really can't thank you enough. If you found it entertaining enough to make it through the whole thing, that's just awesome, and I'll do my best to get another one up here very quickly. But yeah, thanks again, and talk to you soon.